Hi everyone, I'm gonna talk you through my newest preferred medium time frame and low time frame scenarios, including potential trading setups. But first, I have to show you why I believe that this wave 5 is already in and we are at the beginning of a corrective structure to the downside. In order to do that, I have to explain this final impulsive move to the upside, where we have a wave 1 that is extended, wave 2, 3, 4 and 5. And because this first wave is extended, the targets for a wave 2, 3, 4 and 5 change compared to usually in an impulse, wave 3 being the extended wave. So because wave 1 is extended, the most common target for wave 2 is between the 236 and the 382, nicely respected for a move to the upside, where wave 3 does not have any target, so this is fine. The most common target for wave 4 is between the 236 and the 382, which again has been nicely respected. And then the most common target for wave 5, if wave 1 is extended, is between the 0.618 and the 0.786, pulled from the low of wave 1 to the high of wave 1 to the low of wave 2 with the trend-based fib extension tool. As you can see, price wicked into this area over here and then started ranging for quite a long time. So now let's switch to my preferred scenario on the medium time frame, which is this one over here. So now that we explained the impulsive structure, we can now talk about the corrective structure. So after this potential high of wave 5 over here, price started to range, and this made me think of a certain scenario that happened in the past, which is basically the pink structure that you see on the chart over here. This is a copy from something that happened in 2021, which I will show you in a second. But basically, this is what price could do right now. We have a three-wave structure over here. We can get another three-wave structure to the upside and then an impulsive move to the downside, creating an A, B, C expanding flat as the first structure in the correction. Then we have another second structure in the correction before then a continuation to the downside. And if I open my target boxes over here, it actually plays very nicely with the target boxes I have on my chart as well, where we can find support on the target box over here that has not yet been touched between 27,162 and 26,936. I will show you that on the lower time frames in a second. Then price moves to the upside to hit the upper target box as well as the confluences that we have over here, the weekly naked point of control and the weekly around 30k, before then a move to the downside where we can have our first bounce on this target box over here with a couple of nice confluences, which is a target box sitting between 24,850 and 24,377, before then a bounce to the upside, likely to hit the point of control of this range around maybe this area over here, before then a continuation to the downside, where the most common target, at least for a wave 2, if this is the very bullish scenario, with this being a 1, 2 and then this being another 1, 2 and then we expect a big 3 to the upside, the most common target for wave 2 is between the 0.5 and the 0.786 fib levels. But out of these fib levels, by far the most common target for wave 2 is the golden pocket. And as it stands now, if you pull the Fibonacci from the low over here of this yellow wave 2 to the high of this wave 5, the golden pocket has confluence with the target box that I have over here. And that target box sits between 22.6 and 21.8k. And as you can see, that the pink lines, the scenario from the past basically copied on the current chart, is also ending right at this area. So this can be a very interesting start of the correction to the downside. Now the correction can end over here, and this can be the end of a wave 2 before we then expect a very impulsive move to the upside if we're thinking about the bullish structure, the bullish scenario, but also this can be the beginning of a bigger move to the downside. That is yet to be decided, we don't yet know. Now, if you want to know where I got this structure from, I actually have to zoom out a little bit, because what price is doing right now reminded me of something that happened in the past in 2021, and that is basically this structure over here. So what I did, and this is an educational part of the video, what I did is basically I copied this structure over here and put it on the current price action. And how you can copy this structure is by using these tools over here just above the icons. You unfold this list and you go to the bars pattern, and then you select this high over here, in my case with what I've just shown, all the way to the low over here. And as you can see, I then get a bars pattern. I can move it and then I move it all the way to the current price action, and this is basically what you're seeing on my chart. So what you're seeing on my chart is actually a price movement from the past, but it fits very well on the current price action at the moment, because if I hide this and I quickly open the targets, and I go to a little bit of a lower time frame as well, and then I also open the low time frame scenario, which is also a new one. So let's go into the lower time frame scenario that is matching this medium time frame scenario. On the lower time frame, then wave 5 is in over here, right? And we are now at the beginning of a corrective structure. Now, in this first part of the corrective structure, what we're looking at is this being a W, X, Y, where wave Y is having a 3-wave structure over here, a zigzag, expanding flat, and then either this is already the end of wave Y, or if we do not take this high, we can fall down once more to hit this target box over here. Because honestly, yes, we did hit the target of wave Y, but we didn't yet hit the target box over here, which is sitting between that 27,162 and 26,936. And that's actually something I don't necessarily really like, but of course in this scenario the potential trading setup is to enter the longs inside this area, stop loss below the lows, and then trade it to the upside, where the target for this scenario, also in the medium time frame, is a wave B expanded flat target. So this then, these 3 waves are the beginning of a wave A in blue. Then one would expect a 3-wave move to the upside in a wave B, before then a very impulsive move to the downside in wave C. And as you can see, around this wave B, we also have the weekly naked point of control and the weekly resistance levels. Very, very interesting. Now the target area, the most common target area for a wave B and an expanding flat is between the 1.236 and the 1.38, taken from the high of 5 to the low of A with the Fibonacci tool, which basically is between 29.6k and, well, let's say just 30k, with a rare target for wave B being the 1.618, all the way at 30.5k basically. So after this wave B, we then expect a very big impulsive move to the downside, just like I have shown over here with the example over here. So we then have the first movement, I'm not sure, because like falling to the downside and actually hitting the target box in this area would be very nice in my opinion. But then even if it's not the case, continuing to the upside, no problem with that. And then the potential short setup at the highs over here of wave B is entering potential shorts in this area, stop loss safely above, and then trading it to the downside for potentially a nice swing trade to the downside. Because if this is indeed a copy of what has happened in the past, one could very likely hold this short trade to at least the golden pocket, if not deeper, if we are going into a bigger correction to the downside. So this is currently what I'm looking for. This is my current preferred scenario. It's also matching well actually with some of the divergences that we still have on the local time frames as well. Like a lot of those are quite bullish at the moment. So this would be something that I'm looking for. However, I would not mind on the lower time frames to come down once more to hit the target box down here and then move up, because price has wicked above it but not hit it. However, if price is continuing to the upside, you won't hear me complain, absolutely fine. But I would be looking for a potential short setup over here at the target